Thank you for joining us on the program and a warm welcome. Now, if there had been concerns, fears, or in fact uncertainty as to whether Joseph Kabila, the president of the DRC, who has ruled the country, the vast Central African nation, for 17 years, will defy term limits to seek re-election, well, all of those fears or concerns are now over. Joseph Kabila has announced he will not stand for re-election in December. His government spokesman, Lambert Mende, in a statement on Wednesday said Kabila's ruling coalition nominated former Interior Minister Emmanuel Ramazani Shadary as its presidential candidate.
Indeed, Jerry, Emmanuel Ramazani Shadary is 57 years old. He's a close ally of Joseph Kabila, but he has also been targeted since 2017 by the European Union as sanctions for human rights violation against opponents and members of the society. Listen to his statement.
Juste après avoir déposé sa candidature pour la présidentielle de décembre.
The people need peace. This is what the Common Front wants for Congo. The people need rebuilding. They need a social program. That is what we shall do, and we are open to everyone because the FCC represents all the Congolese people.
Now, of course, Emmanuel Ramazani Shadary won't be the only candidate contesting in this election. We know of opposition candidates such as Pierre Bemba, Felix Tshisekedi, and perhaps Moise Katumbi if he finally gets some clearance from the government. But one thing certain is the Herculean task ahead for whoever takes over the reins of power from Joseph Kabila. According to the International Organization for Migration, IOM, the humanitarian crisis in the DRC was at breaking point amid a massive escalation of inter-ethnic conflict and widespread insecurity. Also, the World Food Programme and the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, have described alarming food insecurity in the DRC. Africanews' Michael Dibi and Serge Manku present what they call the scars from Kabila's 17 years in this report.
Fatuma Yusuf is among the Congolese citizens that has paid a heavy price for the violence that the Democratic Republic of Congo has experienced in recent years. She says she has experienced the main periods of these dark ages, and for good reason. She had to change her home to protect herself from violence. I left Kichanga in 2014 fleeing the wars. The first war was that of Maduhunga against the Myanmar. We had fled and returned home after the camp. The second war was that of Laurent Nkunda against the Myanmar. There again we had fled and returned home. But when they burned our house, I decided to leave the village to Goma. My house had been burned. I had lost everything, and until now, I have nothing. I live in pain. And when it comes to taking stock of Kabila's 17 years in power, she is not indifferent. His 17 years in power are a failure. He has failed because the wars have not stopped. Many people have been killed. We don't even know how to cultivate our farms. He really failed because nothing good was done during his reign. The important thing could be to put an end to wars, that we find peace. Other Congolese are not so tender when it comes to evoking the legacy of the man who ruled their country for 17 years. To be honest, we're going to say he's 17. It's a failure. He failed for 17 years. The social is chaotic. The economy is on the ground. But in other words, it's 17 years of hijacking, 17 years of bloodshed, 17 years of crimes of all kinds. We can talk about crimes of genocide. We can talk about crimes of aggression. We can talk about crimes against humanity. He destroyed everything, him and his allies. They looted state properties. Now we can no longer talk about public service in our country because there is nothing left. He brought us even lower than where Mobutu left us. His presidential replacement in December election, Emmanuel Ramazani Shadary, we therefore have to find words to defend this record during the election campaign. For the time being, one thing is certain: the DRC is moving towards its first democratic alternation.
It's now time to have the elections. On this appointment with Prati Sisera, our correspondent in Kinshasa.
Excusez-moi. Emmanuel Ramazani avec notre correspondant Patrick Chitera qui est à Kinshasa. Bonjour Patrice.
Oh, bonjour.
Hello.
Alors Patrice, Joseph
Kabila has finally put an end to the suspense. He would not run for a third term and has appointed a dolphin to succeed him. How was this news received in Kinshasa?
Oui, les réactions à chaud se sont d'abord orientées sur la personnalité d'Emmanuel Shadari.
Hot reactions were initially oriented towards Emmanuel Shadari's personality. The moment the news came in, the first person who was by my side told me that the outgoing president, Joseph Kabila, is committing an error. For me, Shadari distinguished himself with chattering statements during the debate, or his predecessors, Joseph Kabila, slipped. That is trying to change the constitution to represent the candidacy of the former Prime Minister Matata Mpoyo, whose passage made many Congolese dream by introducing a new way of managing the public. For instance, it stipulated the banking system for the payment of salaries of civil servants, a system that puts an end to the drain of salaries of civil servants. Other reactions on the announcement appeared much more on the social network. A tweet said that the appointment of Emmanuel Shadari is a victory of the Congolese people in the face of the attempts of the outgoing President Joseph Kabila to remain in power, as well as to modify the constitution. Jean-Claude Katende, one of the influential personalities of the Congolese civil society, tweeted, "The people triumphed. Joseph Kabila failed to change the constitution and ran for another mandate. Congratulations to the Congolese people and the international community." Is Shadari's choice unanimously accepted by the presidential majority?
Parler de l'unanimité dans un contexte de combat politique, surtout
talking about unanimity in the context of political struggle, especially the succession of the president at the end of his term, is not easy. All the more so as President Joseph Kabila had just broadened his coalition by creating the FCC beyond the former majority from the 2011 elections. However, within the former majority, there were several currents that were formed around certain personalities, such as the former Prime Minister Matata Ponyo, the other with the current outgoing President of the National Assembly, Obe Manuku, and others. Rather, we must look at the management of the ambitions and interests that outgoing President Joseph Kabila has managed. This explains why the dolphin was announced at the last minute to limit other defections. One of Joseph Kabila's allies, Patriarchy Antoine Gizenga, had his candidacy submitted in the minute following the announcement of the submission of Joseph Kabila's candidacy. Although the majority of the FCC members, the new coalition of the ruling parties and groups have said that they agree to support any candidates from their coalition within the FCC. There's always a fear that some parties will leave the coalition to support certain opposition candidates on the basis of certain political, tribal, and positioning and political sensitivities. After this appointment, were there any reactions from the opposition or civil society? An opposition figure, Madame Tokwalu, tweeted saying, "Incredible, the dictator Joseph Kabila designated as a dolphin. Designated Shagari as dolphin. There remains the exclusive voting with Moise Katumbi. no to voting machine, the change of electoral commission. There are 2 years lost. There are 2 years lost and thousands of people died in the fight against the third term of the outgoing president. Notes the reaction of Judge Kabila of the NGO ACAG, which defends political and human rights activists. In a tweet, Judge Kabila says that this organization takes note of the appointment of Emmanuel Shadari to the presidential election and welcomes Joseph Kabila's respect for Article 70 and 220 of the Constitution and asks him to let Moïse Katumbi stand for election and release political prisoners.
Et demande à ce dernier de laisser Moïse Katumbi venir aussi déposer sa candidature et libérer d'autres prisonniers politiques.
Merci
Patrice, thanks for those details.